and welcome back to the Enigmatic Universe. I'm Clifton3D, and today is Sunday, which means we will be getting into Genesis chapters 10 and 11. Before I do that, I would like to point out it is crazy hot out, even with my little AC unit, so stay cool out there. So let's go ahead and get into chapter 10 of Genesis. As always, I'm using the King James online study version. Seems to be working well. So let's go ahead and get into Genesis chapter 10. But I do know that this one will be a doozy to get through, glazing over it and seeing all the names I get to pronounce. You know me well. Now, these are the generations of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And unto them were sons born after the flood. And sons of Japheth, Gomer, and Magog, and Madai, and Javan, and Tubal, and Meshech, and Tiras. And the sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz, and Raphith, and Togarmah. And the sons of Javan, Elisha, and Tarshish, Kittim, and Donaman. By these were the isles of the Gentiles divided in their lands, every one after his tongue, after their families, in their nations. And the sons of Ham, Cush, and Mizraim, and Put, and Canaan. And the sons of Cush, Zebah, and Havilah, and Zabatha, and Ramaha, and Zabtekha, and sons of Ramaha, Sheba, and Dedan. And Cush begot Nimrod. He began to be a mighty one in the earth. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord. Wherefore it is said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord. And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel, and Eresh, and Akkad, and Calneh in the land of Shinar. Out of that land went forth Ashur, and builded Nineveh, and the city Rehoboth, and Calais, and Rezin between Naveh and Calah. The same is a great city. And Mizraim begat Ludum, and Anamim, and Libanim, and Nebatim, and Pathrasim, and Calsohim, out of whom came Philistim, and Captorium. And Canaan begat Sidon his firstborn, and Heth, and Jebusite, and the Amorite, and the Girgasite, and the Hivite, and the Archite, and the Sinite, and the Arvadite, and the Zemarite, and the Hamathite, and afterward were the families of the Canaanites spread abroad. And the border of the Canaanites was from Sidon, and thou comest to Gera unto Gaza, as thou goest unto Sodom, and Gomorrah, and Admah, and Zeboim, even unto Lasha. These are the sons of Ham, after their families, after their tongues, and their countries, and their nations. Unto Shem also the father of the children of Eber, the brother of Japheth, the elder, even to him were children born. The children of Shem, Elam, and Azur, and Aphraxad, and Lud, and Aram. And the children of Aram, Uz, and Hul, and Gether, and Mash. And Aphraxad begath Salah, and Salah begath Eber. And unto Eber were born 2 sons. The name of one was Peleg, for in his days was the earth divided, and his brother's name was Joktan. And Joktan begath Almadad, and Sheleph, and Hazamareph and Jarah, and Harodam, and Azal, and Diklah, and Abal, and Abimael, and Sheba, and Ophir, and Havilah, and Jacob. All these were the sons of Joktan, and their dwelling was from Mesha, as thou goest on to Sephar, a mount of the east. These are the sons of Shem, after their families, after their tongues, and after their lands, after their nations. These are the families of the sons of Noah, after their generations and their nations, and by these were the nations divided in the earth after the flood. Where do I even start here? So, I did way more editing and cutting and all that good stuff and redoing than I ever wish to admit. Those names are hard. The only name that is really easy was Jacob. Strange how that works, isn't it? Anyway, interesting little family tree and how it's divided and everything. So, yeah, that's chapter 10. Let's go ahead and get into chapter 11. Genesis chapter 11. And the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. And it came to pass as they journeyed from the east that they found a plain in the land of Shinar. And they dwelt there. And they said one to another, Go to, let us make brick, and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar. And they said, Go to, let us build us a city and a tower, whose top may reach unto the heavens. And let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower, which the children of men builded. And the Lord said, Behold, the people is one, and they have all one language. And this they begin to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do. Go to, let us go down, and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. So the Lord scattered them abroad, from thence upon the face of the earth, and they left off to build the city. Therefore is the name of it called Babel, because the Lord did there confound and the language of all the earth, and from thence did the Lord scatter them abroad upon the face of the earth. These are the generations of Shem. Shem was 100 years old, and begat Arphaxad 2 years after the flood. And Shem lived after he begat Arphaxad 500 years, and begat sons and daughters. And Arphaxad lived 35 years, and begat Salah. And Arphaxad lived after he begat Salahad 403 years, and begat sons and daughters. And Salah lived 30 years, and begat Eber. And Salah lived after he begat Ether 403 years, and begat sons and daughters. And Eber lived 34 years, and begat Peleg. And Eber lived after he begat Peleg 430 years, and begat sons and daughters. And Peleg lived 30 years, and begat Reu. And Peleg lived after he begat Reu 209 years, and begat sons and daughters. And Reu lived 32 years, and begat Segur. And Reu lived after he begat Segur 207 years, and begat sons and daughters. And Segur lived 30 years, and begat Nahor. And Segur lived after he begat Nahor 200 years, and begat sons and daughters. And Nahor lived 29 years, and begat Terah. And Nahor lived after he begat Terah 119 years, and begat sons and daughters. And Terah lived 70 years, and begat Abraham, Norah, and Haram. Now these are the generations of Terah. Terah begat Abraham, Nahor, and Haran. And Haran begat Lot. And Haran died before his father Terah in the land of his nativity, in Ur. of the Khalids. And Abraham and Nahor took them wives. The name of Abraham's wife was Sarai, and the name of Noah's wife, Milcah, and the daughter of Haran, the father of Milcah, and the father of Iscah. But Sarai was barren. She had no child. And Terah took Abraham his son, and Lot, the son of Haran, and his sons, and Sarai, his daughter-in-law, his son Abraham's wife, and they went forth with them from Ur of Chaldees, to go unto the land of Canaan. And they came unto Haran, and dwelt there. And the days of Terah were 205 years, and Terah died in Haran. All right, that went a little bit better. I didn't have to edit quite that much. And look, these names towards the end again, I don't know how to pronounce these names. So I mean no disrespect. I'm just trying to understand the story, let you understand the story. If I get a name wrong, I'm really sorry about that. Anyway, that was chapter 11 of Genesis. Today being as hot as it is, it was a struggle, and I'm sorry if that came across, but I do wish you all a great Sunday afternoon or whatever time it is on a Sunday for you. That being said, I hope you liked this video. If you did, smash the like button, consider subscribing and hitting the bell for notifications. It definitely does help, and knowing that you like this show, this part of my videos that I do, really helps and motivates me even more. All right, that's it for today. Until next week, take care.